Hello, it's 9 p.m. in Art. This time to English New Edition for tonight headlines. We have the presentation of certificate of recognition to various services and bodies in the context of fight against COVID-19 pandemic. For the international scene, Erdogan and Arab world condemn the Israeli occupation forces and Jewish settlers. Welcome to our newsroom. Prime Minister Abdulqadir Kamel Mohammed received today the new resident coordinator of the United Nations system in Djibouti, Mr. Jose Barahona. Prime Minister Abdulqadir Kamel Mohammed gave a warm welcome to the UN diplomat, Mr. Jose Barahona, a native of Barcelona. After the receptionist, Prime Minister and UN diplomat discussed ways and means to further develop cooperation. Prime Minister Abdulqadir Kamel Mohammed welcomed the new coordinator of the United Nations system in Djibouti and gave him all his support to carry out his work during his stay in Djibouti. The new resident coordinator of the United Nations system in Djibouti, Mr. Jose Barahona, has worked for 9 years in Mozambique, where he managed the long-term development program. Jose Barahona holds a master's degree in international development from the Universidad Complutense de Madrid and a 5-year degree in sociology. He completed a 5-year degree in African studies with the University of South Africa. Under the high patronage of the Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmed Roble Abdillah, a ceremony of recognition to recognize the different services and organizations constitute for their commitment and support during the response to the COVID-19 pandemic took place this morning at the head of the Bufar Hospital. The ceremony was attended by the Chief of the General Staff of the Armed Forces, General Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, the Director of Police, Abdurrahman Ali Kahin, the Director of RTD, Aden Abdi Jama, Administrative and Financial Directors of CNSS, Ahmed Saad, Chief Medical Officers of the Gendarmerie, Abdurauf Burhan, and also personalities from different institutions. These different documents have played an essential role in the fight against the pandemic, whether by raising awareness, by creating, maintaining strict and secure measures. The minister said that the quarantine site, which was inaugurated in March 2021, to help fight the pandemic by isolating infected people, will soon be closed to be transformed into the center of excellence for maternal and neonatal care. Djibouti, thanks to the efforts and contributions of these different departments, has been able to significantly reduce the pandemic. In his speech, the Minister of Health proudly expressed his appreciations to the various departments for their work in the fight against COVID-19. The Minister of Health highlighted and praised the excellent work done by the different departments and stated that the pandemic is not yet over. He also urged the population to get vaccinated in order to totally eradicate COVID-19 in the country. After the presentation of the certificate, the Minister of Health led the government delegation to visit the different parts of Bufar, such as laboratory and the quarantine site. The minister indicated that the quarantine site inaugurated in March 2020 to contribute to the fight against pandemic by isolating infected people will soon be temporarily closed as Djibouti, thanks to the efforts and contributions of these different departments, has been able to significantly reduce the pandemic. The Minister of Muslim Affairs and Waqf, Momin Hassan Barre, met yesterday in Jeddah with the Saudi Minister of Islamic Affairs, Da'wah and Guidance, Sheikh Dr. Abdul Latif bin Abdul Aziz Al Sheikh. The meeting took place in the presence of our Consul General, Mr. Ali Musa Miada, the Deputy Consul General, Mr. Ahmed Ali Hassan, and the advisors of the Minister Usman Farah Rukay. The meeting was also attended by the Secretary General of the Saudi Ministry of Sheikh Awad Sabti, the head of Department of Da'wah and Mosque Sheikh Suleiman Fahad, and the Director General of the Ministry in Holy Mecca, Dr. Salim Al Amri. The Saudi Minister welcomed his Djiboutian counterpart and wished him a pleasant stay in the holy places of Islam. For his part, the Minister Momin Hassan Barre thanked him for the warm welcome extended to him and his delegation. He praised the efforts undertaken by the kingdoms to serve Islam and Muslims by taking care of the sacred places of Islam and the pilgrims. At the partnership level, the minister affirmed Djibouti's willingness to benefit from the kingdom's long experience and expertise in the management of the religious space. For his part, the Saudi minister welcomed the excellent ties of cooperation and friendship between the two brotherly countries and their commitment to promote the values and virtues of Islam based on moderation, tolerance, and openness to cultural and civilizational diversity. Moreover, they reaffirmed their willingness to work together for the implementation of the executive programs stemming from the cooperation agreement signed by the two ministries. At the end of the discussions, the Minister Momin Hassan Barre made a statement on the Saudi television stressing that his talks with Dr. Abdul Latif bin Abdul Aziz Al Sheikh are part of the regular contact to exchange on the various issues that can help to understand the contemporary evolutions of the religious thing and the need to combine efforts to strengthen the social understandings and stability in the Islamic countries. The ministers noted that the Republic of Djibouti, due to its positions on the Red Sea, plays a major role in the regional arena, hence the needs for permanent coordinations with the brotherly and friendly countries so that peace and stability reign in this sensitive region. The Minister of Decentralization in front of for the first decentralized pack this year, the Minister of Decentralization Qasim Harun Ali, who has so far spared no efforts for the realizations of the decentralized baccalaureate from this year, met separately the President of the Regional Council to discuss the smooth running of the oral and writing tests of PAC. In his interview, the minister urged the presidents of the regions to do what is necessary to put in place the contributions necessary to allow students to compete in optimal circumstances. Qasim Harun gave clear directives to the president of the regions for the success of the event that he described it as historic, since it is a great first. Following the meeting with the minister, the president of the regions had a more in-depth technical meeting with the ministry's executives. The technical meeting led by the director of decentralization and deconcentration and acting secretary general Yusuf Abdallah focused on more technical issues such as catering, accommodations, and transportations of students from the sub-prefecture to the regional capitals. The acting secretary general reiterated all the conditions are met to allow all candidates from the regions to compose in the same conditions or as those from the capital, as for the Minister of Decentralization, Qasim Harun Ali, has made known. As part of the nominations for the new president of the Commune of Balbala, this morning the the People's Palace hosted a ceremony to elect the president and vice president of the commune of Balbala. This ceremony was chaired by the prefect of the city of Djibouti, Ousmane Bilegire. The 62 local elected officials of the commune of Balbala have officially elected unanimously the new president, Mohamed Hassan Said, as the president of the commune of Balbala for the next 5 years. The elected president of the commune of Balbala has warmly thanked the local elected officials of the commune of Balbala for giving the confidence placed in him in the process. Suleiman Ali Suleiman was also appointed vice president of the commune of Balbala, an official family photo grouping the president with the local elected officials of the municipality. Djibouti now has fully biometric administrative documents, the law number 39E and 8L on the creations of the national registers of the natural persons, and the national identification number was promulgated on January 21, 2019. The NNI, a process that will identify the physical persons by means a unique and univocal code that will integrate its attachment to the geographical space. An important program that will accelerate the digital transformation is underway in the Republic of Djibouti under the leadership of the head of state. The implementation of this multi-purpose biometric registration system will concern national identity cards and will allow to register and keep records of birth, death, marriage, a driver's license, as well as a car registration card and foreign workers card. This project will make Djibouti a country that has fully biometric administrative documents and is to develop the direct exchanges of data between administration under the programs of official documents, and especially to meet the expectations of users to simplify access to the services of requesting administrative documents and civil studies and quickly process the complaints by the fact that the implementation of the management of this important program is entrusted to the General Directorate of Population and Family, and to realize this database, the Ministry of the Interior has opted for the establishment of 4 registration centers in the district of the capital, which have been operational for 6 months to facilitate the registration procedures and to bring these services closer to the living areas. Centers fitted out as integrated counters to allow the Djiboutian population to exchange all their administrative documents with Dermalog, a German company renowned worldwide in this. The enrollment centers take fingerprints, the iris and the face recognition and then follow the behavioral process, which consists in signing the universal and unique data of each individual. During the night of 17 to 18 April 2022, a joint operations of the Djibouti Coast Guard and the National Navy teams made it possible to assist a Yemeni Galba-type boat carrying illegal migrants that was heading towards Yemen. The boat that was intercepted near Daley was carrying 52 Ethiopian migrants, including 22 women and 13 men. The migrants were safely taken to Djibouti, where they were given humanitarian assistance in the form of food and water before being transferred to the relevant authorities for the repatriations to their countries of origin. 2 Yemeni smugglers were arrested as part of this operation and will be brought to justice to answer for their actions while the boat was seized pending a court decision. For the international scene in Palestine, Erdogan and the Arab world condemned Israeli occupation forces and Jewish settlers from more than 20 people were injured on Sunday in clashes between Palestinian protesters and Israeli occupation forces on the mosque esplanade in Jerusalem. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan condemned the latest Israeli attacks on Palestinian worshippers inside the Al-Aqsa Mosque's compound in the occupied old city of Al-Quds, saying his countries would oppose any threat to the status of the holy sites. The same tone of voices and the sides of Tunisia, which strongly condemned the aggressions carried out by the Israeli occupation forces and Jewish settlers in the occupied Palestinian territories, denouncing the repeated attacks against the Al-Aqsa Mosque and the attack on the faithful. In South Africa, the human toll is getting even darker. It's the unprecedented floods that ravaged the South African regions of KwaZulu-Natal after several days of unprecedented rainfall left 443 people dead, according to the provincial minister on Saturday. On Sunday, April 17, most of the victims were recorded in the region of Durban, a port city of 3.5 million inhabitants in KwaZulu-Natal, open to the Indian Ocean, where heavy rain have been falling for a week, causing floods and deadly landslide. In recent days, ministers and traditional leaders, the Zulu King Mizu Zulu and President Cyril Ramaphosa, who has postponed a trip abroad, have been on the ground to assess the extent of the damages to support the bereaved. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.